I'm gonna be real with you. I never thought that the day would come that my Garmin Venue 2S would stop connecting to my phone. When I tell you I've tried everything, I've deleted the app, I've updated everything, I've turned off the phone, turned off the watch, and she just does not want to work. I have finally come to terms with the fact that I have to replace my Garmin. This video is going to be me giving my honest review and breakdown of the Garmin Forerunner 570 and the Garmin Forerunner 265. And before any of you come for me in the comments, I still do have my Apple Watch and we love her. We love the Apple Watch. But like I said in my review of the Apple Watch, I added my Apple Watch to the group chat. Okay, part of the group is Garmin. And so I need a new Garmin. But when I started doing all of this research, I realized something. I don't really know if Garmin's biggest competitor is Apple. I kind of think it might be Garmin against Garmin. These watches are so similar, but Garmin has this one priced significantly higher than this one. In this video, we're gonna break it down and we're gonna see which one's actually worth your money based off of what you're training for. Also, if you're new here, hi, my name's Julia. I love to make wellness and fitness content. Recently, I started reviewing my hot girl gadgets. And so today, we're gonna jump into watches. When Garmin initially came out with the Forerunner 570, it listed it at $550. But now, you can get it for $450, and that's the price point that I bought it. Compared to the Garmin Forerunner 265, that was listed at $450, but is now listed at $350. So let's figure out where that $100 difference is coming from and if it's worth actually spending, depending on what you're trying to do this summer. All right, so we are starting the battle of the watches. Round one is all about the design. So the Garmin 570 actually has an aluminum bezel. This watch feels heavier. It feels legit. It feels kind of like my Venue 2S. Like I feel like I can run around with this and I can like knock it into things and it's not going to get damaged. Very similar to my Apple Watch as well. But when we're looking at the Garmin 260, it's clean, it's light, it's comfortable, but it feels not as durable. It almost feels like a plastic version of the 570. Both of these watches were appealing to me because of the size of the face. The 570 feels more premium than the 265. But I will say, most runners who are just getting into running want a light watch. This feels really good on your wrist. This feels a little more intense. Now where you get some flexibility is with the 570, there's two different sizes. This is a 42 millimeter. If you want a bigger watch, I am fun size by the way, you can bump this up to a 47 millimeter. And with the 265, you also can get a 42 millimeter or a 46 millimeter. I would say the winner for this round is going to be the 570 because I like that it feels more premium and durable. All right, round two, let's talk about the display. Before I absolutely butcher what this is called, just know that this truly doesn't matter that much to me. Both of these watches have an AM OLED display. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Both of the screens are great in light, in dark, and the cool thing is they're both touchscreen and they both have the 5-button combo. And because they're both the same, this is a tie or a wash. But if you're buying based off the display, then you probably should just go with the cheaper watch, right? Round three is all about GPS and accuracy. And this is where things got a little weird on my run this morning in Central Park. And I'd probably say this is the most important part of a watch if you're wearing it to run. Garmin Forerunner 570 has the newer Gen 5 heart rate sensor, which probably is just a touch better in most conditions. Like some examples would be like cold weather, running the hills in Central Park. The sensor should just be a little better. But both of them have multi-band GPS, which if you're running in a city is really important. But like I said, this morning, something weird happened. Okay, so we just ran about 5 miles, and what's really interesting is the watches are not spot on with each other, and I started and stopped them at the very same times. So the 265 says that we are at 5.6 miles, and the 570 is 5.4. Molly, what does yours say?
542.
See? I don't know. The 265 might be cheaper. Might be giving you a little extra mileage. A little confusing if you're running a marathon. This isn't something that I saw should be different online, but this is something that will drive you insane if you are running a marathon. You want your watch to be as close to reality as possible. So not saying that this is fact, but this is just based off of my experience. The nicer watch had a better GPS. So if we really had to pick one, once again, I would go the more expensive Garmin because it was a little more accurate. But if you're just an everyday runner and you're not training for a marathon and you're not crazy, then go with the 265. Round 4, training features. Because I'm an unprofessional athlete and I'm an absolute psychopath, I am signed up for a triathlon sprint. But I do not know how to like swim. I know how to like swim. Like I can like swim in the ocean, swim in a pool, but like actually swimming in a straight line with like goggles and a swim cap, I have not done that. So when I was looking for a watch, I wanted something that would be suitable for more than just running. And that is why I initially bought the Garmin 570, because it really shines in this category. There are way more training modes in here, especially triathlon training. I don't know if I'm gonna compete in this triathlon sprint, but if I do, at least I've got a hot girl gadget that's gonna help me get there. There's a bunch of training sport tools that are added on the 570, like race time predictor, training load, heat, altitude, and different profiles that will help you train for the triathlon that you don't even know if you're gonna do. So if you're into data and you're training for something very specific, you should go with the 570. But if you're like, I'm literally just trying to go on a fun run and like, I don't know, maybe a hike or something, the 265 is a great watch for that. You need to be honest with yourself. What kind of unprofessional athlete are you? Round 5 is smart features. So the 570 has a built-in speaker. So if you're close to your phone, you should be able to take phone calls from your watch and also hear them without having headphones in. Let's see if it works. This is the first time I'm doing this. Okay, so that's really cool. That's a cool feature that you can call people if you're close to your phone and you can talk to them without having headphones. That is not a feature on the 265. Do I think that this matters? No, I don't. Because as much as I love the movie Spy Kids, I really don't care about answering phone calls on my watch. Both of the watches have music, Garmin Pay, and you can hook them up to your phone to get all of your notifications if you want. My recommendation is don't do that. You don't need to be getting the notifications about everything going on at work and everything going on in your life while you're running. Just don't do it. Disconnect a little bit. Just disconnect. Just try it. Let me know. Let me know. It's really nice. So yes, the 570 is gonna win in this category, but as you can tell, I've been really leaning towards the more expensive watch, but there is something that kind of bothers me about the 570. There's no maps on this watch. And it's funny because it's not like I really care about maps, but for a watch that was initially priced at $550, you would think that it would have maps if we're comparing it to other watches in the industry at that price point. And the other thing that bothers me about the 570 is that there's no ECG in this watch, but the new version of my Venue has the ECG. Yet there's key features that are just not built into this watch that just don't really make sense to me. But yes, the 265 doesn't have it either, but once again, I feel like this is like your casual runner watch. So you probably don't really care about those things. You would think that the newer, more expensive watch has a better battery, but you're wrong. The 265 wins this category. The 570 only lasts about 11 days. It's funny that I say only lasts, but like 11-ish days, where the 265 will last around 13 days. What's going on? Like, why is this one better when it comes to battery life? I don't know. I just feel like it's kind of weird. If you're an unprofessional athlete like me and you don't care that much and you rather charge it because you're charging all of your gadgets, then go with the more expensive one, even though the battery life isn't as good. Round 7, the final round, and probably the most important round, the price and the value. Like I already said in the very beginning of this video, the Garmin 570 is currently listed at $450. I literally bought it on the Garmin website for $450 last week. And the Garmin 265 is listed for $350. So like, if we're just going for the cheaper watch, obviously the 265 is going to be the best. Is the extra $100 worth it if you want more training modes, if you want the watch to feel a little more premium, if you feel like you're going to maybe someday go from being an everyday average runner to training for a triathlon sprint like me, then maybe it makes sense to invest in a nicer watch up front. But if you're like, no, I'm just like going to a run club, then this is the best bang for your buck. So my honest opinion, for me, because of the things that I'm doing and I'm training for or trying to train for, the Garmin 570, even though it's $100 more and it doesn't have some of the bells and the whistles as other watches, is a better watch for me. The 265 is really light, and I think it is a great watch. Like honestly, this is a great watch, but I don't know, there's just something about a more premium, heavier watch that makes me feel like I'm a little more legit. And you might say that's stupid, because it is. But my final verdict is you have to look yourself in the mirror and be honest with yourself about what you're trying to do. That's it. This was a quick little video. I was inspired to make this because my Garmin died and I was running in Central Park, and I thought I might as well share my experience with all of you. If you like this video, please tell me what you liked. Please tell me what you didn't like. If you're interested in other hot girl gadgets, as I like to call them, and you want me to review them, please put them in the comments below. And come back soon because I am going to be reviewing the Oura Ring 5 versus the Oura Ring 4, and I'm gonna give you my honest opinion. So thank you so much for watching, and that's it. Bye. This is insane. Okay, bye.